individual play has been a problem for them, right? FoFo in lane has looked fine. Kingen in lane on his champions looks really good. It's just they don't know how to bring it together as a team, though that has looked better this split than it did in spring.
Yeah. Development of BLG, DMO rising up. Let's see. DMO on red, BLG blue. Renekton the ban against DMO. Aphelios already taken off the board, as you were telling me off broadcast that he has risen in priority once again.
Obviously, with Varus and Ezreal kind of falling down a peg, Aphelios is our only S+ tier.
Yep.
I kind of expect BLG to pick Volibear this rotation. He's our other though. So actually just going straight towards the Graves, because most teams would really value that flex potential in the Volibear, and especially for DMO, Chelizi is pretty much exclusively playing the Volibear.
Okay, this is actually for Meteor, his first game of Graves is split.
Yeah, he has not picked it up yet, so going to be interesting to see. And this one was obvious for DMO. They're definitely going to pick the Volibear. It's Chelizi's most played, most comfortable champion. Even if you go to his solo queue, he's actually just spamming it. So will be interesting to see. I expect DMO to pick it up, but instead going to go towards the Trundle. And if you didn't see, Trundle has gotten a bit of a nerf this patch. So actually, it wasn't on our graphic. Volibear got a bit of a hit as well, though if you've been watching, again, LEC or even the past 2 days, hasn't impacted his priority around the world. Got a bit of his heal reduced on monsters and a bit of a base attack speed nerf.
Damage on the monsters as well, I believe, was part of that.
Nope, it was just heal.
Was it?
Yep, the heal on the monsters. So
that's what happens when you read.
Yep, and so DMO going with Trundle and Karma, so already setting up for this potential composition that can kite back. But on the side of BLG, we're already setting up for pick potential around the map. I love the Ashe pick as well as the Twisted Fate for FoFo. So we already have a good amount of damage. We already have a great amount of lockdown. And they're setting up Meteor to be this big carry that we know he could be.
All right, well, you got pick on BLG. For DMO, back to the Senna. Senna's risen up a little bit as well. Not just here in the LPL, but across multiple regions. The 80 carry farming Senna has been the go-to recently.
Yeah, and I'm interested now because... So, the thing I want to keep my eye on is top lane, because Chelizi's pretty much played 3 champions exclusively. He's played Wukong, he's played Volibear, and he's played Ornn. They've now mainly Ornn themselves, so that leaves Wukong and Volibear. And the fact that they've really set up for this kind of composition that would like to kite back, though that is quite hard when you're against a Twisted Fate who can just Destiny in there with a gold card and really prevent anything like that from going on, makes you interested to see where they will go. Obviously, the Wukong would be nice if they want some kind of counter-engage or an engage option on their squad, but you do have things that facilitate the Volibear running in, like the Karma, if they do want to go towards that option.
Which still made it all the way through to the second ban phase. I haven't seen a Volibear make it through this far in a very long time.
No, and especially the past 2 days, where, you know, before in LPL, we weren't actually prioritizing it that highly, but especially those last 2 days on the non-English days, we saw it was pretty much pick or ban every... Actually, it was pick or ban every game. It was 100% presence.
LPL loves flex potential, and the fact that we can flex it between 2 lanes, jungle and top, has been a big hit. As there you go. Instead of looking at something like the Wukong, DMO.
You know, I'm going to say it again. They're going to lock it in at the risk of sounding stupid, because I've been saying they're going to lock it in already through the whole first rotation, but they do it. So, again, they have the Karma there to kind of enhance Volibear, not necessarily having the greatest engage, right? Just has to run forward, maybe jump in with his ultimate. Now I want to see where Kingen goes top with this, because we've seen things picked up against it, like the Jax. You have tankier options like the Malphite, but a carry option is definitely a lot more in Kingen's wheelhouse.
Which is going to be the Camille. And Kingen has played this before. He is that carry top laner.
Yeah, and it doesn't do really amazing early on in the lane. Volibear will win out in short trades, so definitely going to be on Chelizi to really use that priority to help Xiaopeng find advantages around the map.
Meanwhile, though, DMO contemplating their option for mid or support. That Karma can still be flexed.
Yeah, I do expect it to be support, right? Because they already have the Senna, so getting something that could fast really well with that Senna, get some items on it, and do really, really good will be nice to see.
All right, Sett partnered with. And an interesting comp from DMO. Not something I expect here in the LPL all too often. Run me through it.
Yeah, it's really interesting because it doesn't have the highest amount of damage. It's obviously very tanky, of a ton of sustain. I mean, your 3 bruisers, a Karma, and a Senna. Honestly, I'm not too sold on this.
Okay. Well, you will go fast. I mean, that's one thing. You got to Sett the Karma.
Yeah, you're going to be able to get on top. And that's not a problem, though, because you look at BLG's comp. BLG's comp wants to go in as well, right?
Yep.
They're not a composition that necessarily wants to kite back. They have a Leona. They have a Twisted Fate and Ashe.
Great peak potential.
Exactly. So they both teams want the engage. I guess for DMO, they have the option of trying to kite out some of these engage tools and then setting up some better positioning for them. But my question for DMO's comp all just comes down to, do they have the damage in the mid and late game? Obviously, in the early game, they'll have it. Bruisers are extremely strong in the early game, so you're going to have some options to play around. They obviously are also going to have a lot of priorities in lanes. Mid Karma's just going to push. Volibear as well should have push in the top side. So for DMO, it looks like about finding some kind of early game advantage and snowballing it from there.
And it's not like BLG have the hardest front line anyway. You got the Leona, but apart from that, packing a punch will be a lot of bruises on their side with Camille, who I guess carry top lane. I shouldn't call bruiser. And
Yeah.
probably not the right word for it, but not a categorical front line from BLG. So for DMO, you can definitely see this working in the situation of Game 1.
The thing for BLG, though, is they don't really need a front line with the fact that they have globals to play around with the Twisted Fate. Again, you have a lot of... You have more open ways of finding kills on the map and putting pressure down with those global ultimates.
Well, it's a nice way to enter Game 1. And the series, I think, as TF looks me in the eyes. We get onto the Rift. BLG and DMO both need some wins on the board. BLG are 3-6, DMO 1-9. And this will warm up your day as we enter Summoner's Rift for Game 1. The LPL, the end of Week 7. We're on Saturday right now. Today and tomorrow. Then we go to Week 8. Oh my god, we're almost towards playoffs. We literally just came from MSC. Kind of like realizing you're going to die soon, isn't it? It's very real.
It is really... And it's weird because we have so little time, but we still have a lot of games left to go, and that's especially because, we've said this before in broadcast, our last 2 weeks, the weekends will have 3 series a day, so...
Back to normality for us from spring.
Gonna be a bit of a super weekend in a sense.
Look forward to them.
And another interesting thing to note with DMO's comp is Chelizi going with the Grasp, so he's going to go a lot more towards that, tankier route of Volibear. So even more so with this lack of damage we are going to see coming out. Of course, though, we have seen Glacial Augment pretty much return to the norm on Senna, so is going to go just straight up with that lethality early on.
But something else we've seen change from Senna as well is now she's picking up CS. LEC last night was the same. Here in the LPL, we don't see the no Senna 80 carriers. Yui. That's not a great trade. Wings coming on back and them sticking around. At least a bit of sustain coming from Xubin, but nice start here from BLG. As I was saying, Xubin going to be picking up CS in this lane with the Doran start, and Normality has become the Senna, now picking up CS.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see because now the trade pattern of the lane relies a lot more on the support because Senna obviously isn't just free to focus on going for those poke trades.
True. As we can see, this is a permanent camera bottom lane because of how this is trading. Trying to get 2 first. But really hard when you have a Senna and a Sett who both heal.
And the thing we got to pay attention to with this as well is the fact that Meteor is pathing towards the bot side already as compared to Xiaopeng who's going straight top. So a lot of heavy trading can set up for, some kind of gank or probably not a dive, especially when we look at the mid lane dynamic where Twila will always be able to answer as compared to FoFo, but... Point is, Meteor could potentially have some options there, even if we set up a bounce back on the bot side.
Okay. I'll watch for that, because 2 was hit first by Wings and XinMo. Xubin do the same, but they gave a lot of respect in that bottom lane as Facebreaker once more. The trade back onto Yui. Nice little haymaker and root in place. And now, especially since Wings gets these lethal tempo walking forward. Very aggressive in the laning phase today.
Yeah, it's really nice to see. And it's kind of funny that this was the matchup we highlighted of, again, both of these 80 carries coming from the LDL. Though, as we've said, Xubin has played in the LPL before, but it's been a long time since we've seen him.
Jungle matchup also important here. Xiaopeng ready to roam top side. Level 3 on Kingen, so hookshot, wall shot as walking over a ward. Great timing. Pillar's going to come out, but the sweep down. Chelizi, bit of damage with the shield. Kingen can trade that back. Onto the Volibear with Grasp. He flashes away, and we could see that coming.
Yeah, he went a bit too far for that. We saw that Xiaopeng wanted to set up the gank. We talked about how this was the lane they needed to play around with the Volibear, of course. Having pressure in this early laning phase, they tried to go for it, but still, ultimately, massive win for the side of BLG, getting that flash from Chelizi.
You have a Camille that's comfortable in lane. All things go well as Gold Card locks down the tether and a great pillar. FoFo flashes away himself, so Xiaopeng very active towards these solo lanes. And FoFo will be forced to back.
Yeah, so nice gank coming out from Xiaopeng, and I do want to highlight that I do feel like this is the route that DMO need to take, is Xiaopeng finding really aggressive advantages early on to kind of get this composition ahead, because the mid-game kind of trough it's going to face is going to feel pretty insurmountable.
Shield's going to come down, but we're doing this again. Meteor's top side, flashes forward. They want to commit for the kills. Chelizi slowed down with the smoke screen. End of the line. for the bear, even under the turret. Meteor gets first blood, and Kingen set up to succeed.
Yeah, and great job, BLG, punishing the past mistake from Chelizi. Something we didn't even highlight was with where the trade took place, right? We can see now on our screen that the wave was already locked in such a bad position for Chelizi, so BLG doing a great job of punishing it, leaving this wave in a terrible position where it's still just pushing back into Kingen for now. So BLG potentially could even look for a repeat.
Really nice first back here from him as well as Yui bottom lane. Camera returns as the trade between supports continues.
But another thing we need to talk about is the fact that, of course, ultra late game, Senna does become a bit of a monster with more of those stacks that you get, but I think we've only had one game where we saw like a 50-minute game with an extremely fed Senna.
That's true.
I remember that was disgusting.
That was a long time ago, though.
It was in spring sometime. Her range.
But I've noticed with the farming Senna, you still don't get as many souls as you would if you were fasting. But more resources means more damage, so I feel like there's a balance, a longer conversation that I'm not willing to have now anyway. Lyric, I want you to take me through a little bit more about BLG, because we are hitting that 6 point with the TF, with the Graves, the kill pressure that's going to come out.
Yeah, so when you look at the comp right away, right, you'd probably think they want to set up bot side because they have Enchanted Crystal Arrow into Destiny, can find some pretty nice advantages onto DMO's bot lane, and the fact that that Senna really is the X factor for me is where you'd want to look, but the fact that Chelizi's already made these mistakes is being set far behind, and you could just try and snowball Kingen's advantage further. Sure. I feel like FoFo has opportunities on both sides of the map now.
Because then the question would be, who would match him if he got ahead, right? If Camille found side lane pressure throughout this game. With DMO's comp we talked about, that'd be pretty hard to do it.
I mean, the answer is who would match is no one. Right. No one could match. Chelizi would try to match, but...
Yeah, that would be the match in the same senses. Kingen now gets a shove up in this wave, still a bit ahead in CS. Chelizi respects, pulls back and picks up the wave himself. But Cole was purchased by Kingen, who's now level 6, so he's happy to stay in this lane for as long as Chelizi's pain continues.
And the thing is, we haven't really seen Camille play a side lane role. Since we've seen it in LPL, it's played a lot more of the kind of flanking style of Camille, where you come in on the flank, you just look to lock down the AD carry with your ultimate and, you know, burst out with your jungle, or we've seen Galio compositions with Camille's in them, things like this.
We really don't get, you know, those side lane threats, do we? It's always about teamfight in this region.
I mean, especially the fact we've talked about many times, right? Like how Drake's were changed to split, the thing that we have Soul now, we have this Elder that can just pretty much end the game outright. Yeah. The thing about Camille, if he did take a flanking role, is, right, we have the shields from Karma, we have the sustain coming in from Senna. All the other 3 members are extremely tanky, so you're not going to have a great option to look for that on unless you do, you know, FoFo Destiny's in as well, Meteor gets on the backline, then potentially have the burst to take down either Twila or xubin.
Pretty crucial to the comp that DMO built. 1k gold lead here for BLG at 7 minutes in the game. Note that DMO did pick up the first dragon, but we're setting up for a mountain/ocean game on the horizon, which both seem pretty annoying. I feel like all are annoying except the Cloud Soul at this point. Xiaopeng spotted topside. Kingen with not much mana, but doesn't really care. Just threatening.
So the thing that's nice is he's coming in, helping Chelizi get... Ooh.
Okay, we've got Meteor on the side. Hextech Ultimatum not available, nor will it be. Collateral damage ready, but Chelizi not at that health point.
The thing is, we see this is the 8-minute mark, right? So Herald has just spawned, and I want to see how both teams approach this, because it looks like Xiaopeng was just trying to help him get the reset, so you would expect that DMO are just giving up Herald, but no, so we do see xubin and Yui are rotating now.
Sitting in the water, XinMo, Xiaopeng in the back of the pit.
But Wings isn't here.
Okay, well, with no AD carry, it's going to be difficult. DMO running into the pit first at 3k. The Herald will reset. We're going to do this dance another time.
Yeah, and it's strange to me that they didn't just want to have Wings come over off his reset as well when we saw XinMo move over, because we saw Kingen punish the... Not necessarily punish, but, you know, when Xiaopeng showed in top lane to try to force that reset for Chelizi, you could have had a 5-man stack on top side and secure that Herald. They know Chelizi doesn't have TP. They know he had to reset. And yeah, that ends up giving it over for DMO.
Which is a win when you're far behind early in this game. Say far, but when you're behind the amount you are, Herald over to Xiaopeng.
Well, DMO didn't really lose out on anything on the bot side either, because Chelizi recalled in time, did pick up some of the waves. Yep. We even see CS 480 carries is even at this point.
1 bit of turret plating, that's it. 160 gold for the potential of, you know, 480.
Yep, we do see a bit of a gold lead for BLG, which is, you know, a bit from that plate that you talked about, a bit from, looks like jungle, and of course TF's passive as well.
Yeah, first blood does help a bit of a ton as Meteor starts the invade. Xiaopeng topside. Now, Meteor's been the highlight of BLG recently. We criticized Wings a little bit, not hitting the bar that was set by LDL fans everywhere. But for Meteor coming in, what was it? Did you say 5 out of 6 games?
Well, he's 6 and 5 in game score. So they're still positive. They've obviously lost some games. They picked up some series as well. So the thing is, they're still positive. They're still pretty much keeping up and testing every team they're playing, whether it is a team like IG or, you know, someone lower in the table. They've shown that they're willing to go, you know, toe-to-toe with them. Then it's just about, do they have that shot calling to close out the games?
Because Meteor's a great jungler. I've said this so many times on broadcast. Last year in his debut year, top 3 jungler. And in the league that we have with people like Ning, Tien, other great junglers I need to name, Peanuts in our league now. Xiaopeng was once up there. The fact that Meteor was in that list is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, even Xiaopeng now. The thing is, you look at most teams, most junglers are performing, I'd say, pretty decently, pretty well.
Yep.
I'd say there's very few standouts who are like, well, this guy's not playing too well. Even our bottom teams, again, whether it's Rogue Warriors, whether it's DMO, BLG, these are 3 bottom teams. All of them have junglers that are performing well this split.
I thought you were going to say LNG, but I waited for it. Maybe not.
Sorry, XX.
Oh, that's okay.
But we have not seen FoFo use Destiny yet.
Nope.
He's going to have a bit of a window right now, right? He's pushing his way because Twila just went for the reset. Dragon's coming up. They could look for a play bot.
Oh, Meteor's here. Level 8 versus level 7 of Xiaopeng. Xiaopeng heading towards the mid lane, and Destiny's about to be used. xubin locked on down, and here it comes. TF to the back line. xubin ulties, but he's kept in place as he damaged the burst. Yui has to flash as well. Teleport being burned into 3 members of BLG. Chelizi runs away, and Twila's on his way.
Xiaopeng stopped the Destiny from FoFo, though, which is pretty massive. They still get the kill, but nope. I don't think DMO can take this. You would think FoFo's pushing wave now. They could try and rotate and like threaten a collapse. Oh, but
teleport available on the back end. Chelizi's going to see it first. Dragon does go down, but now DMO need to run away. Zenith Blade connects even after the flash. Kingen ready to nail into the backline. Yui's low, and Hectech ultimatum hits Chelizi. The support walks away. Chelizi ults away as well. The flash from DMO keeps them safe. This should be so much worse. They get the Dragon only for the jungler's life.
Yeah, and the fact is we see Yui just so low that whole time wasn't taking down Chelizi as well.
XinMo.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't feel like the execution from BLG was not here. We can see on our minimap now that FoFo's does get canceled by this pillar. So
rush.
Exactly, great job by Xiaopeng to notice that. And we don't see Kingen use his TP yet, so Chelizi just does go down. But still, like you said, DMO now at 2 dragons, they still got a kill there as well.
Even though it's a 3k gold lead, the fact that DMO have objectives on the board, they picked up that Rift Herald that's still in hand for Xiaopeng and about to time out. So there is the ability for DMO to move into this mid-game better than we would have expected after what we've seen.
Yeah, and I do expect them to use the Herald mid. We talked about it before, especially when, you know, the enemy comp has a TF. You don't necessarily want to play out through either of these side lanes. I don't think you really need to funnel gold on either side lane carry. Just break down that mid lane turret. Maybe try to rotate the bot lane over as well if you want to try and put some gold onto xubin. And really force FoFo under his tier 2 turret.
It pretty much timed out now, so Xiaopeng going to place it down as FoFo returns the lane with the blue buff. But here comes DMO, making the rotation around it.
Yep, and they might be able to force something here. We do see Kingen coming in, but Chelizi is here as well.
5 people move on down. 5 people disappear.
You know, we got a Twist Fate. We got an Ashe.
That sigh.
I thought we were going to get like, okay, well, Destiny, Enchanted Crystal Arrow.
Yeah.
Pick every, 2 minutes.
Maybe, okay.
We've had a lot of farming.
Yeah, we really have.
Which is fine, there's...
I'm just happy FoFo tried to ult bot, even if he was interrupted. That is the use of the ulti. But a successful attempt next time. Or at least using it when it's off cooldown, because it's coming up, and it's a level 11 TF. While Twila is a hose Karma, who's now moving down himself.
Kingen is also coming as well, and Chelizi doesn't have TP, so they can try to force a play. It does look like Kingen was just hovering. He's going to head back towards top side now.
He's still dominating his lane pretty hard. So.
And FoFo has a window. He just pushed in the wave mid, so we do see he's hovering for something and even just threatening his presence on bot side.
So DMO respect, they pull back, and there was a ward in mid lane. Well, let's watch top again. That shield, kind of annoying, better than Chelizi's at this point. Well, we're getting a quick flash of the gold lead that's built on the screen. Of course, it was Kingen who picked up 3 bits of turret plating himself. So the Camille's in a very good position, as we stated before, a level up here over the bear. And I can't wait to see that first item and see where Kingen takes this game. See if DMO have an answer.
Yeah, interesting to see BLG contest for this blue buff right now when Herald is about to spawn. I do feel like DMO, yeah, I was going to say DMO should just have a fine time just taking this themselves. BLG really can't overcommit to this. They don't just want to run head first into a 4v4, right? When you do have this global in the mid lane, it is about kind of creating that tempo advantage and utilizing the tools you have available.
Seeing with the arrow follow-up as well. And FoFo actually has the most gold in this game, surprisingly. Meteor was the one who picked up first blood, but FoFo's been farming really well, because that's all that we've really been seeing.
BLG have the recalls in bot lane.
Yes, they do.
They have the priority. They can look to go topside first if they please.
Let's wait. Let's wait.
Okay, we're going topside,
yeah,
Hysterics.
Okay.
We played the Rune King as well.
Cool. It's exciting. This is Kingen's like, I feel right at home here.
Hey, he's going to get, you know, his team's first turret pretty much just by himself.
It was kind of ironic. We saw BLG picked up a KT member, and then I believe, where did Kuro go? Did he go to KT? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm asking very specific questions. But Ray also went to KT, who was on EDG. We kind of like swapped over players for 2020.
But you know what I like? I
like League of Legends.
I like the lane setup from BLG right now. We put FoFo in the bot lane. He has the TP advantage. We see Twila has to answer. Twila has cleanse, so now theoretically we can see DMO make this play towards topside. But Dragon's coming up in 20 seconds, and BLG aren't going to do anything, actually.
No, they won't. Even though this leads to Mountain Soul.
And you know, they had this lane set up for the past 1 minute when you were talking about LCK players, but I didn't go for anything.
Going to leave Kingen in a side lane, and he's going to get all this CS. He's going to be a Camille that no one beats.
And now DMO get Dragon for free because they aren't going to contest the 4v5. Kingen does not have TP.
BLG say next one. Well, maybe not. Maybe. No, maybe not. Next one. We'll get him next one. Well, let's get mid and top turret with the Dragon.
Isn't this a thrilling experience? And look. They're going towards Herald. They could have done this for the past like 2 minutes, Hysterics. They could have done this for the past 2 minutes if they were going to do this regardless.
They could have done it. I agree with you. But Kingen got the turret, so that means BLG are right no matter what.
But they were going to get it anyway. They could have done this exact setup anyway.
What am I meant to say to that?
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
That's true.
Well, I mean, BLG are still winning 4K gold, so...
Dude, they're almost up to 5. There's a Herald mid off to the side. So now, here's where the action starts, because DMO have to move it.
Kingen looking for the play. Can E over the wall, has the Hextech ultimatum.
Okay, well, solo kill time. Destiny used on Chelizi. Hextech ultimatum. We are going to see blood. But who's it's going to be as Chelizi gets nailed down with the arrow and collateral damage. They used 4 ultis to kill that bear.
That is finally a play we wanted to see. You know, Hextech ultimatum, Destiny gold card, Wings even just throwing out the Enchant Crystal arrow just for a bit of moral support. I don't even think they need to lock him down anymore, but still, BLG finally making a play. At the same time, though, criticizing them harshly. It could have been cleaner. I still believe that, but they are winning 5K.
They are winning 5K, so it doesn't matter.
But it could have and should have been cleaner.
Yeah. I mean, it's 18 minutes of the game. The fact that 5,000 gold is the difference is...
And remember, we talked about you look at DMO's comp. What does it really do?
Next, yeah.
Wow, what does it really do?
Let's watch this one again.
Yeah, we see the Hextech ultimatum come out right into gold card, and you know, he was dead, but he's even more dead now. And
just in case.
We got a lot of assist gold across the board.
You know what? They were scared. They're like, we can't let him get away. There's been no blood.
I mean, Chelizi's Volibear doesn't 5 games played.
That's true. Well, Kingen's going to get another turret. You know that he's picked up 3 out of the 4 turrets that BLG have now. He picked up the 460 gold from first turret blood top. So
I remember week 1 in spring. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's fine.
But because your stories actually bring me down memory lane, where we had this same situation of Kingen on Camille, split pushing all around the map, and then throwing at like 40 minutes or something.
Yeah, it was horrible. As to Chelizi, I'm not sure he can do that in this situation. The 1-0-2, Camille has Chelizi against the wall. The ulti down the line from xubin. And Meteor doesn't have collateral damage. I believe he used it in that trade, so Kingen now waiting for the next person to challenge. Xiaopeng is going to be that person. Chelizi walks back into lane. But Kingen can 1v2.
Look at top lane. We see FoFo just pushing up there by himself, and this is what we talked about of how BLG's comp even just has so many more tools than DMO's does. So
how do you match this?
Yeah, DMO would realistically have no great answer.
Maybe that's why BLG are like, we don't need to do anything. We're just going to win this by default.
Could be true.
Because realistically, you just need Camille to pick up CS and not die, and the game's done.
I mean, but still, you had these very proactive and active tools to attack the map in mid and bot lane.
I should never talk again. You're right.
No, you're fine. You're making great points.
Oh,
I think you're giving a good contrast of what the players could be thinking of. Just saying, hey, in comps, hey guys, you know, we don't need to overforce this. We don't need to look for these plays. Our comp's better. We're the better players. Let's just, you know, take it slow.
You're never this positive when we play together in solo queue. This is the lyric I want to play with. This is the challenger lyric. Well,
this is BLG getting more gold
apparently.
Off the map.
I mean, another turret goes down and DMO just watch. And suddenly we're 7,000 gold ahead. And
you know, your jacket is the most proactive part of this broadcast
dude,
so far.
It really is. It shines. It does everything you want in a jacket.
Yes, it does.
Now, DMO game 2, I know the first thing you're going to say is the draft needs to change a bit. I feel like I would heavily agree with that.
Yes.
I think it's very easy for someone to say, what does this comp do now that it's far behind? Where's the damage come from?
I mean, at the same time, right, you could go, so we have Dragon coming in 50 seconds, so I'm thinking of this. They just get on Dragon first, which is actually extremely hard. They realistically should have no way of getting on Dragon first because we see how BLG can control all 3 waves, so they're going to give up something if they do try to just hard 5-man mid. But if they do get on Dragon first, BLG does have to come into their comp where their comp's all right. You know, it's durable. Doesn't have a ton of damage. Yeah.
Very, very long fights. Favorable for DMO. It's a shame it's not an Infernal Soul. Because then I guess you have a bit more damage.
I mean, at the same time, right, when you draft this comp that does have 3 tanks and you're getting 2 mountains, heck, they would have done better had they gotten 4 mountains.
Hey, that's true. So they should have let the first 2 dragons go.
They should have predicted the future.
They should have. We've seen teams do that many times here. All right, Yui.
Okay.
Send him in and back away.
You know, this is why we don't rate DMO highly, because they're not good at telling the future.
Well, I mean, they are 1-9, and Chanakosara comes out. Destiny on the back line. Yui gets poked on down. Solar Flare's there as well with the smoke screen. It absorbs a lot of damage, and XinMo actually takes more. But no one dies.
Look at the side waves right now. Right now, DMO are just losing out on minions.
Here comes the heal, though. Are you ready? They're running in head first. The poke from the side. Kingen on the flank wants xubin. He'll find him. Hextech ultimate him. Separates them, and out he goes thanks to Yui while Kingen deals with the support. He flashes away in the backhand. Yui matches it really nicely, and DMO actually have 2. Chelizi takes a while to die. Numbers advantage still in favor of DMO.
Yeah, but DMO are extremely low, especially Yui, who we're looking at is on 20% HP. He is Sett. Does going to have that passive to heal back up. You're right. They do have a ton of sustain. I mean, this is what you just talked about, right? In extended fights and extended trades, they're just going to be able to sustain these out.
They're onto FoFo, taking a bit of damage as Xiaopeng as the shield finally comes through, but Wings flashing forward onto 3. Haymaker, though, and that trade may be worth it as FoFo goes forward and will now find Twila. Slowed on down the wild card. Dodged away from, but the blue card to follow through with 1, 2 autos, almost taking Yui down as well. But this Sett trying to help out his mid laner. A nice little shield, wants to walk forward. FoFo still poking over the side. Sometimes being a TF feels bad, but when you have a Camille at your wing, you think everything's going to be all right.
Yeah, and ultimately that was a bit all over the place. We saw how DMO's comp could work, right? If BLG are the ones running into them, extremely durable. You pointed out these longer extended trades looks all right, but at the end of the day, still not having a ton of damage to burst out BLG. If BLG's main sources of DPS like Wings do make it through the fight, we saw, hey, you know, as long as he gets that damage off, even if he goes down in the end, it gives FoFo, had Meteor wanted to go forward, the room to finish off a lot of these kills. Wings right here playing pretty well, right? Maybe the flash not necessarily needed, but great by him to notice, hey, I need to be able to put off the DPS. They actually don't have vision, which I feel like is why he flashes forward, so, you know, they could keep getting these targets low and allow FoFo to finish off these kills.
Shroud added something there. Oh, we're going to watch all of this.
Walk us through this one.
Well, gold card helps a lot.
Yes, it does.
And TF, you know, does a bit of damage, but doesn't do as much as we'd like.
And then Kingen finishes off the kill.
Yeah, nicely done.
That was my best impersonation of you.
That was very good. Hey, you might have to play-by-play someday. Who knows?
Maybe.
You know, you be the TriCast. I'll be Apathetics again. And
here we see BLG are posturing aggressively around the map, setting up this 1-3-1 setup.
Okay.
Though Graves is the other one, which is a bit surprising.
well, he's an AD carry. You know, he doesn't care. Do you
I guess Kingen doesn't have TP, so it doesn't really matter.
It's
I mean,
disingenuous calling Graves AD carry, even though he kind of is. Just a
I
marksman feels better.
I call him an AD carry. I remember me and Joe had this discussion on broadcast once where
did you?
I called him a marksman. He's like, is he really a marksman?
Wait, yes. Well,
If Riot calls him a marksman, I call him a marksman.
he shoots bullets.
Yes, he does.
Anyone who shoots bullets is an AD carry.
Is that
Urgot.
true?
Well, Urgot not anymore. I feel like it is. Who else shoots bullets who you might not call an AD carry?
Corky, I guess?
Oh, that's a good one. What do you call Corky a control
It's
mage?
kind of funny because his play style is kind of, I'd say, more on the control mage side
Yeah.
rather than the AD carry side, but obviously he has elements of both.
As on to Kingen now. Feel like not in time.
Hey, we're finally seeing a nicely executed 1-3-1 though,
Yeah.
right? They're juggling the pressure. They're walking the tightrope, as they say, like quite well. Of their 3-man is pushed in at the same time as both sides are
Nice
pushing
for
in.
DMO to confront the 3, but versus 3 it might not be as easy as possible. Meteor going to have to flash away. DMO do have the damage though. And BLG hit the side lane or hit the fight. Pick one as Kingen's going to go back top. Meanwhile, FoFo bot.
The confusing thing to me is Wings threw down the Enchant Crystal arrow, and then they started walking forward like they wanted to fight, while both their side lanes are winning and pushing in and taking objectives.
I think Kingen came down. He's like, do we fight? And he finally comes back up as the base is in tatters. People are backing away. And Destiny used to give a bit of vision and get FoFo out. So they lost Wings for the base.
Even in that last engage where DMO's 5 engaged on the 3, we saw how long it took for them to kill someone.
Yep.
The damage still isn't really there for the side of DMO. And now they're going to have to worry about both sides of super minions coming in. DMO could play with this, play the slow game of, hey, using the bot side minions to force a Baron play, force out Chelizi's TP, and, rinse and repeat.
Can I ask you, as a Karma mid here, Ardent and Athene bolsters who? The Volibear?
Senna.
The Senna? Okay.
Senna.
Just part of my curiosity about what
I mean,
we're
we
seeing.
look, again, when we saw him go Grasp, we knew we were going to get this full tank Volibear coming out. He has gone full tank, so... Same with the Trundle.
So the answer to your question is Senna.
Yes, yes it is.
All right.
Oh,
Let's
Yui.
go, Yui. Face breaker at the ready. Wants to pull him in. Actually wants to ult him into the wall, but no one's near him. So Yui going to feel the pain in a second. Collateral damage to finish the kill. And DMO have walked into this willingly. Gold card onto xubin. He's been tackled by the scissor leg lady once again. And Kingen is humongous.
10K gold lead, Hysterics. 10K gold lead.
It's probably over if he wants to flash over the wall, but slow down. Solar flare. Kingen's like, just wait. Eventually flashes, but no one really there. He's going to go for a different target onto Xiaopeng. And with the shield, I don't think Kingen dies either here as Destiny, the middle name of DMO at this point. Kingen jumps in. And even if they miss at this point, BLG are like, it's time to end.
Yeah, and that was just great job by Meteor to kite out Yui and lead to the... Oh!
Okay, all right. Chelizi gets on in, gets out and dies. 3 now in front of the Nexus turret. BLG a little bit low. Meteor gets pulled back on in, but the AoE, thanks to Renan's Hurricane from Wings, is doing a bit of work. But BLG are going to back here, aren't they? Yes, they are. Oh, forward we go. Gold card. Hang on, Yui just died. Yui's going to die again. Locked down. Tackled. Again, the key word is gold card onto the AD carry. This is a messy end. Twila's trying, and let's put this in the past. Let's get some new comps, I say, as BLG show them who's boss.
So